Y'all don't even know what's going on, so why y'all speaking on y'all don't know? You snitching.
Like, all this shit I'm going through right now, like, man, I shouldn't even have no energy for this shit, bro. Like, I'm going through real gangster shit, bro.
Hip-hop just caught fire over one single word. Not a diss track. Not a leaked song. Not a surprise album drop. Just one word. Crazy. And somehow that one label managed to shake the timeline harder than a surprise Grammy announcement. Because when Boosie let that comment fly about Kodak Black, the culture didn't blink. It exploded. Now, let's be honest. In regular conversations, people throw that word around like seasoning. But in rap, that's not seasoning. That's gasoline. Especially when you're talking about someone as unpredictable, outspoken, and headline-making as Kodak Black. You don't casually attach a word like that to his name and expect silence. And Kodak. He didn't whisper back. He didn't issue a calm PR statement. He came back with energy. The kind of energy that says, "Don't play with my character." Because in hip-hop, respect isn't optional. It's currency. And if somebody thinks you're unstable, that narrative can stick if you don't rip it off immediately. The wild part. This wasn't random beef between strangers. These are two Southern rap heavyweights with history, influence, and overlapping fan bases. That's what made it heavier. This wasn't internet trolling. This felt personal, and trust me, once fans started picking sides, once blogs started reposting clips, once reaction channels smelled blood in the water, this stopped being a comment. It became a cultural moment. And the way it escalated, let's just say this feud moved faster than a viral TikTok dance. Let's break down how one word turned into a full-blown rap war. So here's how this whole situation really caught flame. Boosie, never known for sugarcoating anything, made a comment suggesting Kodak Black was crazy. Now, in Boosie language, that word can mean a dozen different things. It can mean wild. It can mean unpredictable. It can even mean entertaining. But the problem wasn't the dictionary definition. The problem was perception. And perception in hip-hop spreads faster than rumors at a family reunion. The clip hit social media, like a spark landing in dry grass. Blog pages grabbed it instantly. Reaction accounts reposted it with dramatic captions. Fans clipped it into shorter versions with bold text overlays like it was a breaking news alert. Suddenly, what might have been a passing remark turned into a headline. And in today's digital world, once something becomes a headline, it's no longer casual conversation. It's narrative. Kodak Black caught wind of it almost immediately. And if you know Kodak, you know he's not built to quietly absorb public labels. He's expressive, emotional, unapologetic. When he feels something, he says it. So when that crazy comment started echoing across timelines, Kodak didn't shrug it off. He fired back with intensity, questioning the intent behind the word and making it clear. He wasn't about to let anyone casually define him. What made this heavier is the history. Boosie and Kodak aren't strangers. They both represent Southern rap culture. They both carry influence in overlapping spaces. There have been moments of mutual respect in the past, interviews where admiration seemed clear. So for fans, this wasn't just two random artists clashing. It felt like tension within the family. The internet, of course, went into analysis mode. Some fans argued Boosie was speaking from concern, suggesting maybe he meant crazy in a harmless way. Others insisted that calling another grown man crazy in public, especially someone constantly under scrutiny, crosses a line. In rap culture, words stick. Labels linger. And Kodak seemed fully aware of that danger. Then Kodak's response clips started circulating. He didn't sound amused. He didn't sound playful. There was pride in his tone, maybe even frustration. It wasn't just about a word. It felt like he was defending his sanity, his reputation, his identity. Because once a narrative forms that someone is unstable, people start watching them differently. Every move becomes proof. That's where the tension really started building. It wasn't a back and forth yet. It was more like a warning shot. Kodak was signaling that he didn't appreciate the characterization. And Boosie. He didn't immediately backpedal. That firmness added pressure. Because when neither side softens, the situation doesn't cool. It simmers. Fans started pulling up old interviews, old collaborations, old moments of mutual praise. They compared past energy to current tension. The contrast made everything feel bigger. It wasn't just disagreement. It felt like something had shifted. And anytime people sense a shift between two respected figures, speculation multiplies. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. One side defended Boosie's blunt personality, saying he's always spoken his mind without filters. The other side argued that there's a difference between honesty and disrespect. Threads grew longer. Debates got louder. People started treating the situation like it was a championship debate. What complicated it further is Kodak's public image over the years. He's had unpredictable moments. He's had controversial headlines. So when someone publicly uses a word like crazy, it connects to existing narratives. And Kodak clearly understood that. His reaction wasn't just emotional. It felt strategic. He was rejecting the label before it could grow roots. Meanwhile, blog pages kept feeding the fire. Headlines became more dramatic. Kodak claps back. Boosie sparks feud. Southern rap tension brewing. The framing alone made it feel like a brewing war, even if the core issue was just a single word. But that's how modern hip-hop drama works. It's amplified in real time. The generational conversation started creeping in too. Some fans framed it as OG versus new generation tension. Others rejected that idea entirely. But once generational angles enter the chat, things escalate quickly. It stops being personal and starts being symbolic. People attach meaning beyond the original comment. And here's the thing about pride in rap culture. It's fragile and powerful at the same time. Public respect matters deeply. If someone feels their name is being questioned, especially in front of millions, the reaction is rarely calm. Kodak's response carried that energy. It was less about proving Boosie wrong and more about asserting control over how he's viewed by the end of that first wave. The situation felt bigger than it logically should have. One word had triggered days of discourse. But that's the power of perception mixed with ego. When reputation is on the line, small sparks feel like explosions. And trust me, this was only the opening act. Because once other voices start chiming in, once memes start flying, once celebrities start reacting, what started as commentary turns into spectacle. And the spectacle. That's where things truly spiral. And just when you thought the situation might cool off, the internet decided to pour gasoline on it. Because once Kodak's response started trending, reaction culture kicked into overdrive. YouTube analysts, TikTok breakdown pages, Twitter debate threads, everybody suddenly had a PhD in what he really meant. It wasn't just a disagreement anymore. It became entertainment. Memes started multiplying like they were getting paid per share. One viral edit showed Kodak staring intensely with dramatic movie music in the background. Another meme flipped the narrative and portrayed Boosie as the brutally honest uncle at the cookout, who says what everyone else is scared to say. The jokes were flying from every direction, and each meme added another layer to the spectacle. But here's where it got deeper. Other artists began subtly chiming in. Not direct sides, not full endorsements, just vague tweets, cryptic captions, and respect is everything type of posts. And you already know what that does. It fuels speculation. Every emoji suddenly means something. Every repost becomes a coded message. Fans start connecting dots that may not even exist. The debate shifted from just the word crazy to the broader conversation about mental health in hip-hop. Some fans argued that throwing that label around publicly is irresponsible, especially in an industry where artists are constantly under pressure. Others insisted that the word wasn't meant clinically, just colloquially. But once the mental health angle entered the chat, the tone got heavier. Kodak supporters rallied hard. They framed his response as strength, not instability. They argued that defending your name doesn't make you emotional, it makes you aware. They pointed out that in rap culture, perception can affect business, collaborations, even endorsement opportunities. So letting a narrative slide isn't always wise. Meanwhile, Boosie's camp didn't exactly crumble under pressure. There was no dramatic apology. No long explanation. That steady posture added another layer of tension. Because when one side reacts strongly and the other stands firm, the internet interprets it as a standoff. Then came the live reactions. Clips of Kodak speaking passionately started circulating everywhere. The more expressive he became, the more divided the audience grew. Some praised his honesty and rawness. Others claimed he was overreacting. And that's when the situation transformed from a simple disagreement into a public personality debate. Is Kodak misunderstood, or is Boosie just blunt? That question echoed across timelines for days. Blog headlines became more dramatic with every update. Words like explodes, snaps, and goes off were plastered across thumbnails. Reaction channels capitalized on every syllable. And with every repost, the narrative grew louder. At one point, fans even started speculating about possible diss tracks. No confirmation, no real evidence. Just pure imagination fueled by hype. That's how quickly rap culture can escalate tension. One comment becomes a feud. A feud becomes a potential musical war. And let's talk about pride again, in Southern rap culture especially. Respect is sacred. It's not just about fame. It's about reputation within the community. So when someone publicly questions your mental state, even casually, it can feel like a deeper jab. Kodak's response carried that weight. It wasn't playful banter. It sounded like someone protecting their image. What made this situation fascinating is how fast it spiraled without either side releasing a diss song. No official statements, no sit-down interviews. Just clips, reactions, and commentary building a storyline in real time. The generational angle intensified too. Some fans framed Boosie as representing old-school values. Speak your mind, no filter, no apologies. Others viewed Kodak as representing the new era. Expressive, emotional, unfiltered in a different way. Suddenly, this wasn't just two artists clashing. It was two philosophies colliding, and the internet thrives on philosophical clashes. You could scroll for hours and find endless debates. Some people insisted this was being blown out of proportion. Others claimed it exposed deeper tension within the culture. And because both artists have strong personalities, nobody expected this to just disappear quietly. But here's the twist. The louder the internet got, the more complicated the situation became. Every additional reaction added pressure. Every meme amplified the narrative. At this point, even if both artists wanted to downplay it, the momentum had already built because once fans get invested, they don't let go easily. By the end of this second wave, it wasn't just about a word anymore. It was about identity, respect, generational pride, public perception. And the longer it lingered in headlines, the more it felt like something bigger was brewing. By the time the noise started settling, something interesting happened. There wasn't a dramatic diss track. There wasn't a face-to-face showdown broadcast live. There wasn't a press conference with microphones lined up like a political scandal. Instead, there was tension lingering in the air like humidity before a storm. And sometimes that quiet aftermath says more than shouting ever could. The conversation slowly shifted from who's right to what does this mean? Because when two respected Southern rap figures clash publicly, even over something as small as a word, it reveals cracks in the culture. Not cracks of weakness, cracks of ego, pride, and perception. And those cracks always get studied under a microscope. Kodak didn't fold. He didn't soften his stance publicly. His tone stayed firm, protective, almost defiant. That consistency signaled something important to his fan base. It said, "I stand on what I said." And in rap culture, standing firm is often seen as strength. His supporters interpreted his reaction as someone guarding their name against being boxed into a narrative. Boosie, on the other hand, didn't launch into a dramatic counterattack either. No drawn-out online war. No constant subtweets. Just that steady, unfiltered personality he's always carried. And that steadiness reinforced his image as someone who speaks freely and doesn't backtrack easily. To his supporters, that wasn't disrespect, it was authenticity. But here's where it gets layered. Reputation in hip-hop isn't just about music anymore. It's about branding. It's about how blogs frame you. It's about how casual fans perceive your personality. So even if both artists move on privately, the digital footprint remains. The clips stay archived. The debate stays searchable. The memes linger in the algorithm like ghosts. For Kodak, the moment became another chapter in his unpredictable public storyline. Every reaction he gives, every passionate defense, adds to the image people already have of him. Some see raw honesty. Others see volatility. That duality has followed him for years. And this situation simply reinforced whichever version people already believed. For Boosie, the aftermath reinforced his identity as rap's blunt commentator. He's built a brand around speaking without filters. Sometimes it earns applause. Sometimes it sparks controversy. But rarely does it go unnoticed. And in this case, amplified the narrative that he doesn't sugarcoat opinions, even when it ruffles feathers. The bigger impact, though, wasn't just personal. It was cultural. Fans started having deeper conversations about how artists address each other publicly. Should disagreements stay behind closed doors? Is public commentary part of hip-hop's DNA? Has social media made everything louder than it needs to be? Those questions don't have simple answers, but they reveal something important. The culture is evolving. Years ago, this type of disagreement might have stayed in interviews or private phone calls. Today, it unfolds in real time. Screenshots, live stream clips, instant reactions. There's no cooling off period anymore, and that immediacy intensifies everything. As the headlines slowly faded, both artists continued doing what they do best, making music, posting content, maintaining their presence. That continuation was powerful. It signaled that while tension may trend, careers move forward. The industry doesn't pause forever over one word, but let's not pretend the curiosity disappeared. Fans still wonder whether there were private conversations after the cameras stopped rolling, whether calls were made, whether mutual contacts stepped in to calm the waters. In hip-hop, behind-the-scenes diplomacy is common. Pride may clash publicly, but relationships often get managed quietly. And here's the most fascinating part. Sometimes a feud doesn't end with a bang. It ends with ambiguity. No clear winner. No dramatic resolution. Just two strong personalities who said what they said and moved on. That kind of ending leaves space for speculation, and speculation keeps the story alive longer than any diss track would. What this moment ultimately showed is how fragile perception can be. One word can ignite debates about sanity, respect, and generational divides. One reaction can solidify a reputation or reinforce an existing narrative. In a culture built on pride and presence, language carries weight. But here's the truth beneath all the noise. This wasn't a war. It was a clash of personalities amplified by social media. It was pride meeting bluntness in front of millions of viewers. It was two artists standing firm in their own identities, and the aftermath. It didn't destroy reputations. It didn't fracture careers. It simply added another layer to both of their public stories. Yet in hip-hop, stories don't just disappear. They resurface. They get referenced in interviews. They become lyrics. They linger in the background like unfinished business. So while the timeline may have moved on to the next trending drama, one thing remains certain: respect in rap is delicate. Perception is powerful. And sometimes the loudest impact comes from a single word. And if another comment ever flies across that digital battlefield, was Boosie just being brutally honest like he always is? Or did that crazy comment cross a line that shouldn't have been crossed publicly? And when Kodak fired back, was that overreaction? Or was that a man protecting his name in a culture where perception is everything? I want to know where you stand. Drop your take in the comments right now. Don't sit on the fence. Team Kodak or Team Boosie? Was this blown out of proportion by the internet? Or did that one word carry more weight than people want to admit? Let's turn this comment section into a real debate. Respectful, but real. And if you rock with breakdowns that go deeper than the headlines, make sure you smash that like button like it owes you rent. Hit subscribe like you just found the group chat nobody else has access to. Because over here, we don't just repeat blog captions, we dissect the culture. Scandals don't sleep. Feuds don't warn you before they trend. And the next explosive moment in hip-hop could drop tomorrow. When it does, you already know where to be. Turn on notifications so you never miss the heat. Share this with somebody who swears they know the full story. Let's see if they really do. Because around here, we don't just watch the drama unfold, we break it down. This is the rap truth where the headlines get louder, the takes get sharper, and the culture stays under the microscope.